Namaste children, welcome back to social science class. Children, we have learnt about the growth of nationalism and also the formation of Indian National Congress. So now let us move on towards the age of moderates. The leaders who led Indian National Congress in the beginning are called as moderates. Who were called as moderates? The leaders who led Indian National Congress in the beginning are called as moderates. That is, the period between 1885 and 1905 is often considered as the age of moderates. And the moderates, they had the faith in the constitution and being loyal to the British rule. They were not going too much of against to the British rule, but they followed the method of praying, pleading, and agitating. That is, praying is asking them, pleading, asking them, pursuing them to get their work done. Along with this, they also tried to persuade the British for social, political, and economic reformations. The prominent moderate leaders were, you can see here, Dadabhai Nauroji and Surendranath Banerjee, Gopala Krishna Gokhale, Mahadeva Govinda Ranade. You have already learnt about Mahadeva Govinda Ranade in the social and religious reforms, isn't it, children? Yes, M.G. Ranade is nothing but Mahadeva Govinda Ranade. Like Dadabhai Nauroji, Surendranath Banerjee, Gopala Krishna Gokhale, Mahadeva Govinda Ranade, and many other leaders were the prominent moderate leaders. And because of the struggle of these moderates, Indians were able to enter legislative assembly. Because they started their struggle, hence they started to enter legislative assembly. It was due to their effects, the truth that the British were the main reason for the pathetic condition of India came to light. Why India came to such a pathetic condition? That was due to the British. That was the truth. It came with the help of these moderates. At this stage, by getting trained in political aptitude, Indians created a national perspective for anti-British protest. And let me tell you about the demands of the moderates. What all the demands these moderates had kept for: freedom of speech and publication, separation of judiciary from executive, reduction in military expenses, installation of primary, secondary, and technical education, cancellation of ban on weapons act, provision of banking, irrigation, medical and health facilities, complete cancellation of tax on salt, conducting of ICS examinations simultaneously in England and India, creating representations for Indians in central and provincial legislative assembly, and appointing Indians to higher posts, etc. Many other. These were all the demands of the moderates to be fulfilled by the British government. So here, after this, let us learn about the age of radicals. This age of radicals is between 1905 to 1919. Children, the moderates were unable to reach the common people. The methods of praying and pleading of the moderates were ridiculed by the radicals as a policy of mendicancy, because these radicals, they did not like the spraying and pleading policies. So youths could not get attracted towards these moderates. So a new group emerged in the Congress which questioned the wait and see policy of these moderates. The moderates used to give the petitions, and they were waiting for them to do whatever the things, whatever the demands are there. They were waiting for the British to complete or fulfill their demands. But some of the young people who were emerged in the Congress, they did not like this wait and see policy. So they they were in a different way, and they wanted to get all the work done on spot. So they were called as the radicals. In the radicals, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Bipin Chandrapal were the leaders of this group, and these three were popularly called as Lal Bal Pal. Okay, and they were called as Lal Bal Pal, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Bipin Chandrapal. And the period between 1905 to 1919 is considered as the age of radicals. What was the reasons that led to the growth of radicals? Let me tell you, children. Ignoring Indians for the higher posts in administration. Already explained to you this. Ignoring, the British were ignoring Indians for the higher posts. Lord Curzon's indulgence in communal politics by dividing Bengal in 1905, and the defeat of Russia in the hands of a small nation, that is Japan, in the year 1905, created confidence that Asians could defeat Europeans. And Indians were inspired by the revolutionary movements which were active in Ireland, Russia, China, Turkey, Egypt, and others. So these were the reasons that led to the growth of radicals. And Bal Gangadhar Tilak was a great patriot. His intensity of desire for freedom could be sensed in his proclamation. What did he proclaim? He said, "Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it." That is, you all know, isn't it, children? He said, "Swaraj is my birthright. As soon as we born, Swaraj is our right, and I shall have it." He did not want to ask from somebody else. He wanted to take it. So he brought people close and intact by introducing Ganesha and Shivaji festival. You might be seeing, isn't it, children? Usually Ganesha festivals, they will keep Ganeshas in the street and they will celebrate. This was introduced by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He introduced Ganesh as well as Shivaji festivals, and through that he could reach the people. For that purpose he started that. He published newspapers like Maratha and Kesari and inspired the people politically. And Bipin Chandrapal, he started the daily New India paper. He started, Bipin Chandrapal. And Arvinda Ghosh, or Arbindo, he started Vande Mataram paper. And Lala Lajpat Rai was popular as the Lion of Punjab. See, the Lala Lajpat Rai was popular as the Lion of Punjab. He wrote, "We get Swaraj as a right, not as arms." Children, Swaraj, we have to get it as a right. That is, Swaraj is freedom. We have to get it as a right, not as arms. Arms is bhiksha. We don't want that. We want it as a right. And Bipin Chandrapal organized mass protest in Bengal. Another important radical leader was Arvinda Ghosh, and he adopted the radical methods like boycotting foreign goods and using only Swadeshi goods and also opening national schools. Like this, the radicals started their agitation against the British. And then comes the partition of Bengal. Partition of Bengal took place in the year 1905. This is a very important event that inspired the national struggle of the radicals. Was this the partition of Bengal in the year 1905? The British were anxious as the wave of nationalism in Bengal was getting a strong impetus because it was very strong, the nationalism. Hence, in order to bring down the rigor of nationalism, because as you know, children, you have learned previously also, wherever there were, it used to become strong, they started to divide, they started to break that. For that purpose, here Lord Curzon, Lord Curzon, attempted to divide Bengal by separating Hindus and Muslims on the basis of religious differences. See, this was one thing he got. He attempted to divide Bengal by separating Hindus and Muslims. In opposition to this division, 16th October 1905 was observed as the National Mourning Day. Throughout Bengal, they observed the National Mourning Day. Rabindranath Tagore sang the song Amar Sonar Bangla as the national song. And Bankim Chandra Vande Mataram, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, you all will sing, isn't it, children? Vande Mataram. It became the song of the patriots. To signify the unity of Bengal, Hindus and Muslims exchanged Rakis. So they did not want to get separated. So they wanted to be united. Unable to withstand the strong protest by the people, the British had to cancel the partition in the year 1911. And let me tell you about the establishment of Muslim League, children. He is Lord Curzon. This establishment of Muslim League, let me tell you, children. And in the year 1906, it started. The British always tried to keep the Muslims away from the national movement by using divide and rule policy. I told you already, by dividing Bengal into two, they started to divide and rule policy. Right from the day of establishment of Indian National Congress, British were encouraging Muslims to establish their own separate organization to protect the interest of their community. In the year 1906, a Muslim committee met then Viceroy of India, Lord Minto. He is Lord Minto. They met Lord Minto. Inspired by the meeting, Sir Agha Khan and Nawab Salimullah of Dhaka and many others, they established the Indian Muslim League in Dhaka. Dhaka is the capital of present Bangladesh in the year 1906. So in the next class, let us learn about Surat crisis. Thank you, children.